In what was one of the biggest weekends for the NFL, the draft drew 312,000 fans to Kansas City.
And of course, next year, Detroit should see a similar number of fans downtown. Now, despite the turnout in Kansas City over those 3 days, some small businesses there say they saw a dip in sales.
CBS News' Andre Gutierrez is at Campus Martius with a cautionary tale from one of those business owners as Detroit gets ready to host the draft in less than 1 year.
Now that everything is wrapped up in Kansas City, Detroit has the NFL's full attention. A group of city leaders is back in town after visiting this year's draft in person to see what worked and what they can do better. One thing they're considering is how to make sure all businesses, even the ones that aren't in the middle of the action, can benefit from all the attention. Because in Kansas City, some small business owners say these crowds didn't really venture outside of the main event.
We've had much busier days just from some random volleyball convention in town than we did with the NFL draft.
Dan Walsh made sure his coffee shop was well stocked and brought in extra staff, anticipating a constant stream of NFL fans. Instead, there were fewer customers.
And then a lot of just the street traffic and foot traffic was not there.
He believes the issue was twofold. First, security around the draft was tight, and so when fans made it to the site, they stayed there, and so there wasn't much sightseeing. And secondly, he thinks the locals avoided the downtown area to stay away from the crowds. Here's his message to Detroit small business owners.
So I would say just make sure your investment in spending in terms of staff and inventory probably aren't as much as you kind of think, as you would equate to the number of visitors you hear coming to town, because those visitors are probably going to spend most of their time at the draft.
The Detroit Restaurant and Lodging Association is working closely with its members in Visit Detroit to make sure everyone can reap the benefits from next year's NFL draft.
We are already fielding individuals and organizations that want to buy out restaurants, that want to utilize our event space. And so I would say, from the standpoint of a restaurateur myself, you spark the balance. And if you're going to be there for just a single event, how can your business also activate for different revenue streams that day?
How are you going to make sure that restaurants in the periphery of the area here are still going to benefit from the draft?
Well, we're certainly going to be focused on making sure that all our businesses receive a great opportunity on this draft. And one of the ways we're going to be doing that, frankly, is that the way the draft is going to be set up in the heart of downtown and Hart Plaza and Woodward is that it's going to really play into the strengths that we have restaurants all in this area. Additionally, we're probably and most likely going to have activations in Capitol Park, in Beacon Park, and Grand Circus Park as well, so that it's going to spread out the fan experience.
In Detroit, Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Detroit.